What's up, YouTube fans? Today, we're going to take a look at the Bandai Gundam Universe Burning Gundam, or otherwise known as God Gundam. So, this is in the Wave 4 of the Gundam Universe line. I've been reviewing all these waves. This wave only has 2 in it. It's got this one and Tall Geese. I'm not going to be taking a look at Tall Geese. I just wasn't interested. It wasn't up my alley. I didn't really like the design of the character. But I did want to look at this guy and see, if I would want him in my collection. So he does come with a bunch of accessories. Before we talk about that, I do want to talk about his hands. So somehow, just bad luck, I ended up with 2 right hands. So you can see this one is incorrect, obviously, right? The thumb should be on the other side. So that's a little bummer. You do get an alternate hand for the Burning Gundam, hand. But it's the wrong side. So unfortunately, you ended up again with another right hand. So you've actually got 3 right hands. And I don't know, that's just a little bit disappointing. But since we have this out, let's get this on there. So go ahead and pull off. And I'll show you that in a minute. You can keep those off. And then put this on. And there you have the red hand, and you can see there's a lot of stuff that's kind of loose on this guy. So all of the hip skirts, which are generally loose anyway, so you can do some articulation, but these as well tend to fall off. So these little blasters, you can just kind of stick them on here, or maybe they're just guards or shields, but those you can stick back on if you want to, and they just mount right there in that little slot. There you go, there's his red painted hand. Now it is painted, that is nice, I'm glad they did that. Maybe it's not painted, I don't know, maybe it's molded in that shiny red plastic, but that does look good. I just wish they had put a correct hand in there. Now you can just take a spare fist from another figure and put it on there and that'll be fine, but just wanted to point that out. You also get his backpack here. So the backpack's really nice. It's got these, what I believe are die-cast boosters, and then you got the wings. The wings do articulate. So all 3, they only go down this far. They go up. Basically, these white ones go all the way up. The red goes middle, and then these white ones go up to there. So that just pegs on to his back, just like that. We're going to leave those off because they keep falling off. So these hip skirts are really just almost kind of useless. You don't have to have them, but it does leave kind of a gap and a hole in his side. But there you go. There it is with that look. I think that looks really nice. And you can adjust this, however you like. You also get the chest effect piece. So you can have him with the jewel kind of displayed. So here you take that off. And you can get this. It only fits one way, so make sure you have the key to part down. And just get that on there. And then you can take what looks like the opening. It looks like it's open, but it doesn't actually move. It's just molded that way to look like it opened up, right? So that's a cool little look. You can have it looking like opened up and exposed that jewel. That looks nice. I know it's not a jewel. I don't have the the history on these guys, but I like the fact that you can do that. That looks good. And just real quick before we move on, here's a close-up on the head sculpt. It does have painted red for the chin, painted green for the eyes, and then black details on the nose and on the side intakes there. Looks pretty good overall, and then yellow here. This was just plastic. But overall, a good-looking head sculpt. Let's go over his articulation. So the head is on a ball joint, so it gets down to there, up to there, rotates all the way around. You can take the head off, and then this neck actually moves a little tiny bit back and forth, so you can get a little bit of movement out of that as well. So he can get a little bit further up if you need to, or down. Moving down, I talked about this already. The arm rotates, and again, things are tight in some places and loose in others. So luckily everything's on a ball joint, so you're not going to break it, but I do find that to be irritating. Anyway, you can rotate this, so this can go up and down, Arm rotates at that shoulder joint. The elbow goes 90 degrees. We'll leave that off for now. Rotation at the bicep. Rotation at the wrist. And then you can just move the hand up and down on that ball joint. You have a waist rotation here. You have a ab crunch. And let's see. Pretty good ab crunch, but this piece sometimes gets jammed up in there. So you just got to be careful with that. But rotation and then ab crunch there. It looks like it could bend more if you took this piece off. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it might actually go further. So another example of them just hindering their own articulation. I don't know why they do that. Moving downwards, you have the leg, kicks up to there. Back to here, hindered by this, but again, you can take pieces off. Pretty much everything you can actually see stuff has been falling off. But you can pretty much take off all the pieces if you want for articulation purpose. It goes out to the side up to here. You have a rotation. And pieces just keep falling off. I don't know. It looks like it's just loose glue, so that's going to continue falling off. So we'll just leave it off. You have a knee bend here. It is double jointed here and here, but for whatever reason, again, it's limited. It's limited by the sculpt. So you could have gotten a full bend there, but unfortunately they blocked it by making the post there. Continuing downward, you have ankle tilt here. You have ankle pivot back and forth, and then this piece moves independently and rotation. So you can get a lot of movement, but unfortunately there's so many pieces that either get in the way or fall off as you are articulating. Let's just put them all back on. Final thoughts on the Burning God Gundam. I love the look of it. I think it looks really cool. I like the color scheme, but too many QC issues and just too many problems in general. So number one is this. As soon as you touch it, things start falling off. So that's one. That might be just, results may vary because I didn't have enough glue on there. I could probably just glue that back. But having two right hands is definitely an issue. It should have come with one left and one right. Having these pegs too short, that's a design issue. That's not a QC issue. They fall off very, very easily. As soon as you move the leg, these fall off, and that's a bummer. And also, these front hip skirts, again, they designed it in such a way you can't get any articulation until you knock it off. So really kind of a bummer on the design. While it looks great and it's a good shelf presence, it's just too annoying and not a fun figure to pose on your shelf. So I don't recommend this, unfortunately. I think they have too many issues on this particular one. And then I also, in addition to having the articulation issues, mine has QC issues. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.